What my hair giving y'all? Let me see. Yes, hair. Yes, skin. Okay, stay focused. Welcome back. It's been one of those kind of days, like, I went to work, I went to the dentist, and I just want to say I'm almost like, fuck these teeth, because I get what Cardi B was talking about when she was like, got a bag and fixed my teeth. Because guess what, hoes? It is not cheap whatsoever. No, it isn't. And I was just really irritated, so I was probably rude to the people. And I don't know what to say unless they're going to help me pay for it to give me a discount. So it is what it is. And I went to go get my hair done. I am slightly, really a lot of it, exhausted. So, but this video has been, I did this video last night and it did not save, or whatever the case may be, which today I'm kind of happy because I like to do videos by myself when it's daytime, because the daylight gives you an extra like, it's like more light. So, whew. Baby, nothing like a glass of water, and that's really good. I don't know where to start. It was juicy. It was tea with biscuit, you can say. In my opinion, everything was genuine. Harry's body language he did seem a little uncomfortable, but also his hair is growing back. So, I mean, he's less stressed than before. And alright. So the interview started with Meghan and Oprah, and she just talked about like her experience or whatever. I'm not going to tell you guys everything that happened in the interview. If you have not watched it, I found it on demand. As soon as I put it on demand, it was the first thing that popped up. But it was on CBS if you're looking for it, because I couldn't find it. I looked for it on YouTube first, of course. So, I felt like Meghan was very genuine. I believed her. She was believable. We saw the things that the tabloids were saying. So as far as the tabloids, that was true. I believed her in the stories that she told. I believed her as far as her saying that the queen loves her. They seem like, to me, I like to watch people, so I'm a people watcher. So to me, they seem genuine. So I always believe that. I think as a black woman, I'm not surprised that she experienced them being racist to her. They had never experienced a thing in history where a woman of color was now viewed as royalty, and y'all see how that went. It didn't go well. She talked about her experiences in the palace, which were not experienced that I'm sure other people who have married into the family had experienced. She talked about the story of her making Kate cry about the flower dresses. She said that story was a true story, but it was actually a story in reverse. That Kate had actually made Meghan cry about changing the flower dresses. But she also stressed that her and Kate did not have a problem. It wasn't Kate whatsoever. The thing about a lot of the whole story is really based on, I think, what we were thinking as people who didn't know, because I feel like us Americans, we don't know nothing about over there. And it's a whole different culture. It's a whole different set of rules. It's a whole different way of living. So we were always thinking that the queen didn't like her and it was just the royal family didn't like her, but it really was not the case. Her words, not mine. She said in the beginning of the relationship, while they were boyfriend and girlfriend, that they had told her family, they being the firm, we'll talk about the firm all the time in this conversation between us, because the firm is who she basically took the bus and ran over. I wouldn't say necessarily run over, but she blowed the whistle on them. That makes sense. So, okay. They told her and her family, the people that she was around, to anytime asked about questions of them, just to say no comment. And to her, they told her, you saying no comment, we want you to say no comment because no matter what, us, the firm, is going to protect you. She said in the interview that she wished that she would not have believed that because they never had protected her. And we saw that with the tabloids. So with the tabloids, because you got to keep up because it's a lot. I'm going to go to the end with this part. Because Oprah asked the question of everything that was happening that she was speaking about, and even Harry had said some things. Oprah asked the question like, why didn't the Queen ever say anything? And the why the Queen couldn't say anything is because the Queen is really just the Queen. The Queen worked for the people, and the people is the firm. So, and the firm feeds the media because there where they live, the palace of Buckingham, blah, blah, blah. It's about the image there. Here, you say something about Kim Kardashian, it might upset her personally, but it's not a reflection. It is a reflection, but it's not a real reflection because we don't look at the media to see the image of a person. If that makes sense, like whatever we see when we see something in the media, we can just bypass it or we can look at it, but it's just not, it don't mean shit to us like that. Like, it's just, okay, Kim Kardashian she's gonna wear a mop bucket on her head, and it's just, okay, keep it moving. But there, it's, oh my God, to the people, the real people such as I, oh my God, the Queen is gonna wear a bucket over her head. Oh my goodness, who is she? And then the people attack her, and the people being the media, because they create the image that they want the royal family to look like. So the firm feeds them. So in a way, the firm was working for the media and the Queen is working for the firm. So if you're not a part of one of the two, which is the media of the firm, it is what it is because the royal family don't have no say in it. I felt like that was a whole circus, but that's how they explained it. Less circus or whatever. So she said that the Queen loved her. It was nothing about the Queen. Also, when Harry entered the interview, he talked about how he talked to his grandmother quite often. She's watching the baby grow up or whatever through Zoom and or FaceTime. I'm sure that's what it is. And the problem was never the Queen. Meghan expressed the problem was never the royal family. Not everyone, but not the main problem wasn't them. The firm was the problem because everybody worked for the firm. So basically the firm is who runs everything. So Meghan was feeling like killing herself. And when she said this, before you have to watch the whole interview to know exactly when she was feeling like she wanted to kill herself. It was mostly when she was pregnant. And that's crazy because when she was first saying it, I was feeling like maybe she was experiencing postpartum or something, but it was not postpartum. It was while she was actually pregnant. She spoke of one story that really stuck out to me that I was telling my coworkers today, is that her friend had screenshotted a picture and sent it to her and was like, oh my God, you guys look so happy. I'm so happy for you. And she was like, her friend saw a picture. She was like, but what she seen in the picture wasn't the same thing. She said the day before that event, she had told Harry, she felt like the thoughts were real and that she really wanted to kill herself because of everything that was going on, the way she was being treated in the palace, the way the media was dragging her. She also stressed that she never read none of this stuff, but that didn't mean she didn't hear about it because of course her family was reading, her family saw it, and they was trying to relate it to her, and they didn't understand why the media was dragging her the way they was dragging her, because, and still they're dragging her. Everything they use is always Meghan is in it, and it's all Meghan, as if Harry doesn't have a backbone. That's how they try to make it. But to stay on subject, she said that she had told him this, and he was like, he didn't know what to do. Because again, he had never experienced nothing like this either. And remember, he comes from this, and he didn't know what to do. So she went to the HR because, of course, she said she had worked for a union, and, she knew the rules to working. So she went through HR, and HR was like, our heart goes to you, but it's nothing we can do anyway. Either. She was like, it's not like she could just get up and just walk out. She was like, once she entered her palace, she hadn't saw her keys, her passport, or anything in months because, yeah, she's in the palace. So the next day was the event, and Harry was like, well, you don't have to go, because he knew how she was feeling. He was like, you could just stay here and we'll just make it work. And she told him that if he left her, that she probably would kill herself while he was gone. And she needed to go with him, to be with him. So in the picture, she was fully pregnant. She had on a black sequence royal blue dress. And they were holding hands like this. And when she said, when you zoom in the picture, you can see that his knuckles were extra white because he was holding her hand so tight, because he knew that she was barely holding on. And that really just broke my heart. For that to have happened. And she talked about why they didn't do the traditional picture, which when they come out and they have the baby, was because Meghan never had security. Security was never given to her, and it wasn't given to the baby either while she was carrying him. So why would I bring my baby out, where she said daily they were receiving, not just her, but also the prince, also the baby, the unborn baby was receiving death threats. So it was pointless for her to take her baby out there. It wasn't safe, in other words, to make sense. And I'm 1,000% understand her with that part. So then once it never stopped, because it was a conversation that was had with Harry about, what about the complexion of the baby? Aren't you concerned about how dark he was going to be? That's what makes me feel like everything was about race. So even if the 1 or 2 stories we read that Meghan was rude, or the 2 people that complained in the palace about Meghan, even a 1% of what her and Harry said in this interview is true, it was all about race, and that's awful. Like, let's be real. Like, still today, we experience such racism. Even though there's people of color where they are. They visit people of color. They're in Africa. Like, even though to me, it's plain to see that his love for her and her love for him is so real, it's still all about her color. Even though her father is white trash to be exact, it does not matter. She's still a woman of color to them, and this is why they mistreated her. So that's why she didn't take this traditional picture, and I'm not mad at her that she did not take that picture. Once the baby was born, the things did seem to it didn't get better. So they decided, which is common, everybody that's in the royal family, they're not senior employees. So the senior employees are always at work. You always see them, which is Kate, and I don't even know her. What is his name? Who knows the other brother? Y'all know the brother with his bald head self. They're seniors, so that's why you always see them front line at every event. Like, that's them working, earning a living. But you can also work part-time, and that's what they had asked to work. And asking to work part-time, they decided to live somewhere else that also had Commonwealth living, which was Canada, and that's when they moved to Canada. Once they moved to Canada, that's when they had security when Prince Harry had security when they left, and once they moved there, they took his security. So he said out of his own mouth, why people insist that Meghan is the reason why they moved. He said, once they took my security and people knew where we lived, it was not safe for us. Once they took his security, it wasn't safe for them to be there anymore. So he had to do what was best for him, and that was to come to the States. Once they came here, Tyler Perry, who knew, and in a way I wish they never even would have mentioned his name, because Tyler Perry don't get the credit that he do. It's a lot of black people that has the same power that he has, and they don't use it to help the people that supports them. I'm ashy, but you know what I'm talking about. these kind of people. So I wish they didn't mention him, and I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm saying that in I'm a person that when I do something, you don't have to tell nobody I did it. Like, and I wish they wouldn't have said nothing. They just should have kept that part kind of hush hush. But I know why they said something. But he gave them a home, and also he gave them security. Harry talks about that he was cut off financially, even though he was born into this. He is Prince Harry. They cut him off financially. He was living off the money that his mother had gave him. We're gonna take a pause. He said that they cut him off financially, and then he was able to get his own security on his own with the money that his mother had left him. Which, the way he said it, it made me feel like it was a large amount of money. And what's crazy about that would be, why would she leave her son such a large amount of money in their royalty? If that makes sense. But then he said it's almost like he felt like she left them that because she know they were going to need it. Meghan talked about the only person that she really could confide in there was one of Diana's friends, and she felt like she understood her because she watched Diana go through it and she knew what it was. And also, Harry said the same thing. A lot of the reasons why he moved and he came here is because he did not want history to repeat itself. That he was very happy that he was sitting there with his wife, because realistically, if something didn't happen, he wasn't going to be sitting there with her. You guys all know that she's pregnant. If you don't know, spoiler alert, she's pregnant with a girl. They're happy in California. Harry, he said that he wished that it wasn't like that, and if it did not happen the way it would happen, that he would still be there. But as far as his family's safety was what was important. His wife's mental health what was important. I thought a cute factor was they got married 3 days before the wedding, because he said the wedding was for the world and he wanted to still make sure he gave her something, because he really loves her. He said the best part about being here in America, right, I'm right. The best part about being here in America is that he can ride a bike with his son, and his son can just hold his hands out and enjoy just fresh air. They can walk on the beach. Like, it's not what it was when it was there. This was a good interview. If you haven't watched it, I'm telling you now, go to CBS, go to On Demand, find it if you nosy, because the tea was in here. When I was speaking to other people today, somebody said they felt like she was acting. I did not feel like she was acting. I felt like this was very genuine. He did seem kind of anxious. Other than, like, yeah, he seemed anxious. They said, somebody mentioned that Oprah was cutting him off. I didn't get that. His body language was kind of off. He did seem like he didn't want her to answer some of the questions, or he wanted her to pull back, because Meghan was giving it all. He was the only person that did not agree to answer one question, which was the question of who had the question with him about the complexion of the baby. And I feel like that was his father, because he said basically he didn't say overall, in my words, he said that the relationship with him and his father is strained now. He hasn't spoke to him or the brother, but he talks to the grandmother a lot. And to me, I got that he felt like the brother and the father are kind of jealous of him because he was able to get out. He mentioned being in the family, the royalty, living in the palace. That was like being trapped. And he said they're trapped forever. There is no way out for them. They're trapped. Now those was his words. He didn't say that they was jealous, but you know, that's the vibe I was getting when I was paying attention. I love Oprah. Retired Oprah, because Oprah did that interview like she was Wendy Williams, honey. She asked the questions that we wanted to know. She did not hold back. That question when she was like, what was the queen doing? Like, she is the queen. Like, queen or something. Sis, like, do something. Like, because that was a good question. This water is so good, y'all just don't know. But Yep, my notes, we got everything here. We can continue the conversation in the comments. Like I said, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And you guys have a great day.